So South Korea's parliament is voting on motion to impeach President Yoon Suk Yeol over his attempt to impose martial law earlier this week. Yoon is facing widespread calls for resignation after the short-lived martial law decree sent shockwaves through South Korean politics. The incident, which occurred on Tuesday night, took everyone by surprise. Yoon's declaration of martial law was met with immediate backlash, with lawmakers racing to the National Assembly in Seoul to vote against the measure. The law was, however, revoked hours later after widespread criticism. Meanwhile, pro-Yoon protests were also reported in Seoul on Saturday. Supporters of Yoon Suk Yeol took to the streets of Seoul earlier today. In a strong show of support for the South Korean president, thousands of demonstrators gathered at Hwangwon Square, singing, dancing, waving signs and waving Korean and US national flags. And South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol apologized to the nation for declaring martial law, which caused a massive public stir. In a televised address on Saturday, Yoon said he would not seek to avoid legal and political responsibility for his decision, adding it was made out of desperation. He also promised that there will be no second martial law declaration. Meanwhile, the leader of the ruling party, Han Dong-hoon, believes that President Yoon's early resignation is unavoidable.
I'm very sorry and would like to sincerely apologize to the people who were shocked regarding the declaration of martial law. I will not avoid any legal or political responsibility.
In a press briefing, South Korea's main opposition leader Lee Jae-myung said that he will work hard to end President Yoon Suk Yeol's term early, despite Yoon's apology to the nation.
The greatest risk facing South Korea right now is the very existence of the president. The only solution are the president's immediate resignation or an early exit through impeachment. I will do my utmost to ensure the president's resignation or impeachment.
South Korea's opposition-led parliament on Saturday rejected a bill proposing a special investigation into First Lady Kim Kyon-hee. Out of all 300 lawmakers present, the bill was rejected with 198 in favor and 102 against in a secret ballot held during the plenary session at 5 p.m. Saturday. Kim has been embroiled in allegations including accepting gifts from a pastor and manipulating stocks in Deutsche Motors, a BMW dealer in South Korea. All right, we'll go across to DD India correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh. He is joining us live from the newsroom. Shubhendu, ruling party lawmakers walked out of impeachment hearing, and we're also hearing that some have come back. What could possibly happen now? What is the latest that you're picking up?
Well, Abhishek, they say Korean drama is very popular across the world. Yeah. But what we're witnessing in the National Assembly perhaps even surpasses what is witnessed in Korean drama. Very dramatic scenes are unfolding. As we speak, the impeachment vote appears to be stalling because the members of the ruling party, the PPP, People's Party, have staged a walkout. But that's not it. Outside, there are protesters who've surrounded the National Assembly, the parliament building of North Korea, asking the people who are leaving the parliament to go back and vote against the president who had thrown the country into chaos and jeopardy. Just a short while ago, Woo Won-shik, the Speaker of the National Assembly, also made a passionate appeal that it doesn't matter which way you vote, the world is watching the National Assembly of South Korea very closely. It is very important that we protect our democracy, and everyone must exercise their franchise and their right to vote, and escaping the vote is going to be no solution. That is where the situation stands at the moment. Some of the inputs that are coming in from the ruling party members who've staged a walkout, they say that they all agree that what the president did on Tuesday night was incorrect, declaring the martial law. However, president's apology is something that seems to have worked for them. Politically, they understand that while they remove President Yoon Suk Yeol from the position, if they do through the impeachment, the ball is going to be completely in the opposition's court. It's going to be an opposition's president for sure. They already control the National Assembly. In that sense, it is going to be a political disaster for the ruling party. But the people's pressure is also significant in this particular moment. When I mentioned that the parliament has been surrounded by South Koreans, they're playing Korean music, they're chanting, stand down, Yoon Suk Yeol. So in that sense, these dramatic scenes, how they unfold in the next hour, we'll have to wait and watch.
We can see in the visuals also, Shubhendu, huge number of people gathered outside protesting. But Shubhendu, there have been allegations against the First Lady too, Kim Kyon-hee, and the Dior bag controversy is one of the controversies that surrounded her, market manipulation, plagiarism accusations too. Tell us more about it.
Absolutely, Abhishek. And ironically, we should also mention the context from which Yoon Suk Yeol, the president, really appears on the political scenes. He makes his name as a public prosecutor, as someone who is able to account for the corruption in the political system, in the economic system of South Korea. He takes down big politicians, and that's how he comes onto the political scene, as someone who has risen from the ground. But in power, it has been a very, very difficult reign for Yoon Suk Yeol. Particularly the charges that are faced by his wife, First Lady Kim Kyon-hee. As you mentioned, the very popular yet controversial Dior bag case. This was in 2022. A pastor had gifted this bag, which is a luxury brand, as we understand, costs about $2,000 and above. And like in any public office, the First Lady should have ideally declined accepting such an expensive gift. Then it was also linked to allegations of if this was a gift in return of a favor from the president. Investigation was initiated in 2023. It did not yield any concrete results, but it did dent President Yoon Suk Yeol's image and his credibility as a clean person at the helm of affairs. Alongside, there are also allegations of stock manipulation, that the First Lady is facing stock manipulation of some prominent automobile brands operating in South Korea. Both Yoon Suk Yeol and Kim together are also accused of corruption as far as political favoritism is concerned, in giving ranks to people that they prefer without following the ideal democratic process. So number of corruption charges now rising up. Yoon Suk Yeol has, in all sense of the word, lost his political credibility. He is just hanging on really to his position by this thread of technicality. This impeachment vote, which is stalled, is going to make all the difference.
Shubhendu, if you can give a bit of a background, or also President Yoon embroiled in a significant political crisis. What led to all this? Also, we can see in the visuals, all thousands of citizens have taken to the streets. And if President Yoon is impeached, what would happen possibly?
That's right, Abhishek. We'll have to again go back to Tuesday night, when the martial law was declared at the first place. President Yoon Suk Yeol would have wanted his country and the world to believe that the real reason for his decision was a threat from North Korea. The fact that, according to him, North Korean agents, communists, had penetrated the levels of the government and even the opposition, and therefore to protect the country, the only way was to declare the martial law. But as the hours proceeded, and the manner in which the martial law was also taken back, it became clear that it was his very, very difficult political position that made him take the decision. We know that Yoon Suk Yeol had won the presidential election by a very thin margin of about 1% vote. And just earlier this year, his party had lost the parliament, the National Assembly elections. Nearly 2/3 of the National Assembly is now occupied by the opposition, by the Democratic Party of North Korea. In that sense, real political power had been slowly taken away from President Yeol. Most of his proposal, including the budget, was met by resistance as far as the National Assembly is concerned, was supposed to pass such important legislation. Many of the cabinet members of Yoon Suk Yeol's team were facing impeachment motion. There were threats that Yoon Suk Yeol, in fact, would be facing impeachment, no confidence motion soon. So amidst these threats, perhaps Yoon Suk Yeol thought that declaring martial law, taking the whole power in his own hands, could have been a solution. But that turned out to be perhaps the biggest self-goal for him. And now the world is watching the National Assembly of South Korea to see the direction in which the impeachment vote goes ahead. If it fails today, which is what looks like the case, because not even 200 people, 200 members are there in the South Korean Assembly as we speak. There are 192 opposition members. Most of the ruling party, the People's Power Party, have staged a walkout. Dramatically, 4 members did come back after people chanted, motivated them to go back and fulfill their duties as a lawmaker. But the number hasn't reached 200 for the impeachment vote to be successful. If it fails today, the lawmakers can again come together on Wednesday, which is December 11th, for second round of impeachment vote, a second attempt at impeachment vote. However, in case it looks highly unlikely, but if the impeachment vote is successful, okay, and President Yeol is impeached, the matter will then go to the Constitutional Court, okay, where a batch of 9 judges are going to be taking the final decision on whether the president should be impeached. But again, a technical issue there is that only 6 judges are present as far as the Constitutional Court are concerned. 3 judges are yet to be appointed, and that appointment also has to be done by the highest authority, which is President Yeol. So this technical aspect, this dramatic development, we'll have to really wait and watch first how the impeachment progresses, and then from there, the way forward.
All right, Shubhendu, thank you for making us understand the entire scenario. Thanks for the time being. But yes, keep tracking the story. We'll come back to you again.